And I bet like 10 different
Evening, counselor.
bundles from Omaha
Evening,
State
counselor.
mail.
Good, how are you?
Everything you could think of.
See you.
And I thought, okay, I'm just gonna order that stuff and my daughter.
I thought you were,
Amazon and got
yeah, I thought you were ready to start me.
Oh.
You were
my
referencing
son-in-law,
something.
got him to send me a
what you
list.
Yeah, we are live streaming.
Okay.
My granddaughter, done.
You know, I
It's
can't
up to
even remember what mine
grandparents to get the
is.
great grandkids.
Not a cent.
Yeah, mine wasn't.
Yeah.
I bought it down at Kindle Mill at Farm, not Farm Fleet.
Your Honor, raise yourself up just a bit. Yeah.
9mm down.
I was all over up here to find one, nobody had it.
I don't think it's gonna be a good year to be an attorney in the town of Bristol this next 6 months.
It sure looks like it could be busy.
That's the old
Lots of activities
Right
for
now.
me.
He is
Yeah,
the he is the domesticated.
I'll throw this your way.
So I sent him a copy.
You have one, Alex? Right in front of you.
It's right, yeah, you got copied too.
Dominic.
You out.
He's gonna be an archaeologist.
Good. We can talk about that. in
He's the
different
feral
executive
one.
session.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there he goes racing again. I swear. Yeah, I gotta show you. Because at the end, he's going, he races around my kitchen through my living room, comes back and he goes, thank you, thanks, because I told him he won. That's the feral one. Wait. Grandkids. Great grandkids.
That's great.
I think the last gift I got for my nieces and nephews, I got my niece a rifle because she wanted to learn how
Rather
to
go
shoot.
away from a small sum of.
Okay, I'm afraid to give the second one. Youngest, the oldest is youngest is in kindergarten. Because he's five. The other one's two. They changed the dates at school. When he was a kid, you started like first November.
I will
Now
tell
you
you.
start in August.
Yeah.
So he misses it by 2 days. I watched him every other week. I just hope he's in school.
65%.
See him all the
He's
time.
too old.
Yeah.
And so they have taken.
It's really there.
I mean, he's a well-mannered, please and thank you kid, but I'm telling you, he is just, if there's a button to push on, then
Well, you see.
There's a boy.
You see the, or, franchise. So you-
All right, it is 7:00. We will get this meeting called to order. Today is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 at 7 PM. We'll call this Bristol Town Council work session to order. Start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chris, you haven't been here a while. You want to lead us tonight? Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Start off with roll call, starting to my left. Doug D. Smith.
Here.
Dean Renfro.
Here.
Kathy Burke.
Here.
Greg Tuholsky.
Here.
Jeff Beachy is here. Town Manager Mike Yoder.
Here.
Clerk Treasurer Kathy Antonelli.
Present.
Fire Chief Nick Cans.
Good evening.
Good evening. Legal Counsel Alex Bowman here and Town Marshal Steve Preem.
Here.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. Pretty short agenda tonight. Anybody want to make any changes or additions?
Nope.
No. Okay, the agenda will stand as published. So we'll get the reports. Nothing from Mike, nothing from Kathy, nothing from Alex. Questions about upcoming council meeting agenda items. Any questions about upcoming agenda items?
Yeah, we have Deb Hughes here and they'd like to, I think we've had some questions about the Bristol Commons rezoning that's coming up Thursday at the meeting. So they made some changes to the site plan. I've asked them to come tonight to share those changes with you and see if you have any additional questions or comments or suggestions.
Okay. Hi, Deborah.
Hi,
Welcome.
good evening, everybody. I'm Deborah Hughes from Surveying and Mapping, 2810 Dexter Drive in Elkhart, representing the petitioner for Bristol Commons. Zoom out a little bit. Based on some
Yes.
comments we've received through Mike, we've made some revisions to the site plan, which we would like to talk with you about this evening.
Okay.
There's been quite a few comments, but I won't go over those, but what I will do is tell you about the changes. I also have printed copies if anybody would like to have that. So I'll use this screen. if
Sure.
that's Okay, if you zoom out a little bit more, please. Mike.
Zoom out.
Yes, please. Yeah,
I
there
I
you
was
go.
adjusting for my eyes without.
I won't ask you to read it. The road position is exactly the same as it was. The first change is that we had 4 units in 4 buildings. So there were 4 unit buildings. Those have been reduced to 3 units. So there's all 3 unit buildings now. And so there's 36 units instead of 40. And the reason we did that is to create space between the buildings where that 4th unit was, and we've added guest parking spaces in those 4 spots. So there's 3 guest parking spaces in 4 spots on the main road.
So these are the guest parking spaces right here on the big
Yes,
screen.
that's one of the one,
Your
and then right
screen.
across,
And runner,
Mhm.
yeah, so on both sides. In between each set of 3, you've got parking spaces.
and then up at the north end.
Mm-hmm,
Yep, right where your cursor is.
yeah, okay.
And across. So that removal of that 4th unit created additional space that we can use to create 3 guest parking spaces. So in addition to that, at the very southwest corner, where the retention basin is, we have added 5 guest parking spaces at that location as well, off the road. So this, these changes have created 17 guest parking spaces. And then in addition to that, each unit, instead of the driveway being a single car wide, it'll be 2 cars wide. So what that does is it creates 2 outside parking spaces as well as the one in the garage space. So each unit would now have 3 designated parking spaces, plus 17 guest spaces. So that was to address the concerns about parking. And then another concern was regarding snow storage. And so what we did was indicate multiple spots where snow could be stored. So I'm just going to point to them. One is, it'd be right behind the guest parking space. In fact, all of them could be behind the guest parking space, could be pushed over the spaces piled up behind that. So those spots, the retention basins themselves can be snow storage spots. The east retention basin is accessible off of North River Road directly, and the west one would be accessible from the guest parking spaces.
There's also one right here on the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, and then there's also the
And
one up
over
here in the
here.
north end. This retention basin to the northwest could also be used for snow storage. So we've indicated 8 spots that could be used for snow storage in response to a comment. So those are the changes we've made. I'd be happy to address any questions you might have.
You did send a picture of what a unit will look like. There was a
Yeah, this is a
comment.
graphic from our architect, Michael Most, about the exterior treatment. And I printed
The
copies.
driveways
Those
aren't
condos
wide.
or-
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah.
Are those the condos or apartments or what?
They're condominium, well, they're townhouses.
Oh,
Each
house.
one has its own
Townhouse.
lot. And each one would be purchased and owned individually.
Okay, so there are no rentals on these units?
This is not a rental property.
Okay,
This is an owner occupied, I
okay,
mean, an owner
owned property.
who lives in the unit. I can't speak to that, but the individual lots would be sold.
Okay, I just want to make sure,
It's not.
because I know
it's not
when,
Rental property.
yeah, Mahalo, when you first approached us, there was conversation about some rental and some owned.
Yeah, they said at that point it was basically to look at it as a rent-to-own scenario.
Yeah.
Clearly, I took into account some of the comments that had been made.
Yeah.
And so clearly there was a strong desire to have the expense owned.
Okay,
Now, is there anything in an HOA or anything like that that says they cannot rent it?
There was nothing written in the HOA at this point that you can't rent. mean, each individual can do with it as they want, in any scenario.
Okay. So let me ask a question about that. Would you consider putting something in the HOA to prohibit rentals, say like month to month? For example, what if someone were to buy it and decide, hey, I'm gonna make this an Airbnb? Or I wanna buy it and I'm gonna rent it, and I may just rent it for a month or 2 months at a time.
Yeah, so at this point in time, basically, I haven't considered that, because frankly, I'm a believer that each individual should have the right to make the decision themselves.
Agreed, but I think a lot of our residents' concerns are that it would become an apartment type rental.
Yeah.
Whereas the concern would be if you're just a renter, you don't necessarily have ownership or commitment to keeping the property nice.
Yeah, and I can understand that, given the fact that it's basically a new unit, it's highly likely in this overall scenario. And in the city itself, I mean, to my understanding, those kind of restrictions, I'm trying to deal with it in the sense that these are individuals, each owning their own property, and should be able to deal with it in that fashion. If there's a significant concern that I could consider that as part of, whatever becomes the overall rule for their property as limitations. But at this point, my preference is to allow each individual owning the property to deal with it individually.
Okay.
So there wouldn't be any HOA restrictions on living.
Correct.
I live in an HOA and we have that restriction and I'm glad we've got it.
Okay,
I don't consider it taking away my rights.
well, I mean, that, I certainly understand your point of view on that. As I said, my preference is not to do that, but if, that becomes a significant sticking point, then want to consider it.
I think it is.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I would hate to see it become an issue. I would rather have it set from the beginning as opposed to wait till an issue happens, because it's harder to reverse course at that point. So I guess my preference as a council member would be to see a restriction. Not necessarily that I don't know, Doug, how yours is set up, if it's just completely prohibited. I know my wife's parents had a condo in Syracuse and it was on the lake, and their restriction was it could be rented, but it had to be at least a 6-month rental. So it couldn't be a month to month or an Airbnb type situation. Because I think that I could very easily see somebody buying one of these, making it an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Which I'll be honest, I don't want to see.
Yeah, I don't.
Nope.
So
I would personally, I would back it in an HOA thing that it's, no rentals.
Yeah.
Period.
I would,
That's the main sticking point of the neighbors and myself as well. I would not like to see your property go downhill, which it can in that situation.
Deborah, back to the overall reduction, Mike, if you can, yeah, there you go. So we started off originally with 80 units, 40? Okay, so now we're down to how many?
36.
36, okay. Oh, I was thinking, 40 units, 80 cars. Okay, so we're now down to 36 units. Okay. I'm just trying to see, it's kind of hard to tell from the picture up here, but
36.
is there I thought you had a bigger picture of the lot, of the parking lot. Can you?
Go to sheet two, which is the third sheet in this group. There's a close-up.
Another one,
Of buildings,
that sheet?
yep, that three. Yeah, that's the north end.
Yes.
Okay, so this is our driveway here.
The shaded areas, the public road.
So this is driveway here.
Yes, with the little triangles on it.
Okay,
And then the green patch represents the vegetation in between them.
yeah, the grass, okay. So this is enough for 2 cars,
That's correct.
2 cars here and then in the garage,
One in the garage.
one in the garage.
That's correct.
Okay. There's your 3 proposed parking spaces there.
That's for the additional parking for guests.
Okay,
And you can see the notes about snow storage there too.
yes, yep. There.
So is this gonna remain a private street?
No, it will be a public road.
Yeah.
So then who's responsible for the 3 parking spaces? Is that now town property that we have to maintain the parking
Those would be
space?
outside the right of way, so I would say those are part of.
So those would be HOA, okay.
The thick line around the outside of the sidewalk represents the right of way.
Okay.
Meaning that the public jurisdiction limits.
So I see we have various lot sizes or,
That's correct.
okay. So is it different square footages of each property? So
The
each,
units themselves are the same,
okay,
but the property around them varies depending on where they're positioned in the parcel. Are they on the cul-de-sac? Do they have retention, stormwater retention in the rear yards? But the lot sizes do vary.
okay. Other questions?
Do these units have basements?
No,
Any particular reason why?
well, I think we're trying to keep a cost structure that would fit in this scenario. And so, and add an additional basement would have certainly been about $7,000 additional cost. And we're trying to keep it at a level where it's affordable for people who live in this community.
So do they have storage? A storage area in their?
The
You know,
storage area would be basically clearly in the back end of the garage and then basically any other parts they would use
okay,
in the property, but that's.
okay.
And are they all 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom?
3-bedroom, 2.5 bath.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a lovely floor plan.
one of the other concerns that was, because I was at the county meeting. One of the concerns was it's currently a wooded area. I understand the neighbors' concerns that we would lose that. But I also understand that this property is in the town limits. And in a lot of towns, you don't necessarily, unless you're in a park, you don't have a forested property or a wooded property. That's necessarily guaranteed. Those are typically identified for park areas. Is there any consideration to leaving as many of the trees as possible, or are we in a clear-cut situation where you're gonna take down all the trees that are there?
I think the reality of the situation pretty much comes, to be honest.
Okay.
Look at the configurations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's otherwise, but it's not really that.
Okay,
So the area with the green crosshatch around the perimeter, that represents the county required landscape buffer area.
okay,
That does have specification for a number of new trees and new shrubs to be replanted, where there's a difference between the R3 and the A or R1 zones. So that, there's 2 different kinds of green hatching. The grass hatch is out in the property, but
Yep.
this diagonal hatch represents this county required landscape buffer area. And so those have, it's the class 3. The county has a schedule.
okay. And what would the class 3 consist of? What type of,
Oh, Joe, you're That's 1B, excuse me.
Okay,
3 trees per 100 feet, which would be 54 trees. 8 feet high planting, and then a 6 foot high opaque fence.
okay.
And the requirement is for 17,640 square feet total. And we have 17,900 square feet, so we're just slightly over the total requirement of this landscape buffer.
Okay,
That doesn't mean that that's the only green space, it isn't, but it's the designated 3 trees per 100 feet.
Actually, I do have one more question. With the initial presentation said you were planning 3-phase build out. Is that still the case?
I think that's
So it's-
the longest it would be, it could be faster.
So say you get phase 2 done, the timeline for phase 3 comes, if the other units aren't filled up yet, would you continue with the 3rd phase, or would you wait until everything's filled up before you moved on to the next phase?
Depends upon how filled out we're talking about, so clear, I mean, I think on a practical basis, I'm looking at it basically 1 year, 3 years in total, right? 1 year being the first 2 ones, and then going forward. I anticipate this should happen in the time frame, but I can't imagine it going maybe a year beyond that, but that's practical.
But the public road and the public utilities would all be installed
Yeah.
in the first phase.
okay.
Yeah.
All the
Which would be
infrastructure.
The buildings that
Yeah.
could be phased.
is there an HOA fee or anything for like maintenance, mowing maintenance and that stuff?
There will be for the common areas, then
So on the B1, you said it was B1,
Yes.
for the, trees? Would you consider, okay, 1B, would you consider, an even greater number of trees and maybe something that would be fast growing, that would give more privacy between the back of these units and the neighboring houses? I think that may appease the neighbors that are concerned with privacy. I know we have the privacy fence, which I want to talk about in a second too, but, would you consider,
Along here is what you're talking, Jeff.
yeah, along this, yep, on the east side, the east property line, mostly, but I think the west property line would also be, because there's neighbors to the west too, just not as many. I know in some developments I've seen, they'll do like an arborvitae that is a faster growing tree. That if spaced out properly, gives better privacy.
Yeah, an evergreen of various types.
Yes.
More of a solid barrier.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly, that within that consideration, absolutely.
Okay.
So that, I'm not here to disrupt in terms of the neighbors and to impact, and try to minimize that. At
Right,
the same time, provide something.
yeah. And then the fence is a 6-foot fence?
6 foot,
Okay,
yes, opaque fence.
okay. All right,
And that's all part of that 1B
okay,
screen.
okay. What are the plans for the house, the existing house in the front?
Excuse me,
The existing house in the front, what are the plans there?
leave it.
Okay,
It is my intent not to tear that house down. It's been a long time and I think it's a, nice functional house, so. There'll be a fence around it so that it, it doesn't get impacted by the neighbors and it'll remain.
any plans to do any upgrades to that house?
Yeah.
Okay, because I guess here's my concern. We don't have a development like this in Bristol currently.
Thank you.
This is a new concept for the town.
Mhm.
It's townhouses. We've not had townhouses before. And while I I would agree that that house can probably be functional. I just wouldn't want it to detract from the look of the townhouses.
Yeah, I understood.
So I guess what I would ask there is that it be, I guess, if you're gonna do upgrades to that, that they would look similar to what you're doing with the townhouses.
In terms of color matching kind of thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the same concept of, you know, cause as we look at that architect's rendering, it's a more contemporary look. More modern contemporary look, and the farmhouse. I would say probably isn't like that now, right?
Yeah,
I think that should detract though. I think if the, you know, if it would, the color scheme was the same, it should bounce, I don't want to say bounce into it, but
The house is white,
yeah,
it's a white exterior.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so will that be part of the HOA
no,
then?
Yeah, it's one of the lots, so whether
Oh,
it's
sorry.
an HOA.
I spoke that.
Okay,
So it's
It
not
doesn't
like a
have to be.
clubhouse or
Yeah.
anything. It is like a clubhouse then?
No,
No.
it's an
Okay.
independent residence.
it'll be,
Oh,
okay,
So,
Okay, that's good.
so it would fall under the same HOA restrictions then? That the other properties do?
It could be in the HOA, but it wouldn't have
yeah,
to be.
I really hadn't thought of it past that point, to be honest. Because in my mind, it was sitting outside of that.
Okay,
Is there one thing
farmhouse there in that corner.
right here?
yeah, this house right here,
Yeah.
the
okay.
existing house.
Yeah, so
The only thing I can think of is if it wasn't part of the HOA, that you can have other residents saying, why are we doing this when they're not doing this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a thought that I had. I've seen that happen. I don't know. I like it myself.
Alex, any thoughts from your end, questions?
I mean, from the legal side of things, at least part of this conversation, I think hinges on what, if any, written commitments the town council would like to see as part of the rezoning of the map change.
Yeah.
That's a consideration of the council, and I don't know if that conversation has begun or status of that, but at least some of what the council has discussed here, I think could be memorialized as part of a written commitment.
Okay,
I don't recall any commitments coming from as a result of the plan commission hearing.
Yes, there were none.
Yeah, okay, so it would be a
Kind of a de novo.
drafted here. But one other thing, and it's been a while, but initially you folks had some questions about the entrance, and if you'd like to talk about the entrance and traffic patterns, our town engineer is here to help you with that. That's you, Ken. If there's any questions about, you know, traffic flow and the design of that entrance.
yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that, because that is gonna be a concern.
one time you talk about putting a blister on the south side.
Well, there had been that question, whether it's needed or not,
I
and,
remember somebody mentioned it.
There is. Is there not?
So initially, we did not have a passing lane on the south side. We do have a deceleration lane and an acceleration lane on the north side. We submitted a request for variance to the town board to ask that the county's requirement for a passing lane for anything over 20 units or 20 left turns be waived. And the reason for that request was because of the low traffic volume on River Road. The peak traffic time on River Road is a work-related peak. The housing may be at that same peak, or it may be different peak. It may be more office hour related rather than factory related. So there could be a difference in when those cars are pulling out. They're not all 36 of them pulling out at the same time, or all 72. And in addition, to avoid the disruption to the residents on the south side, people regard right of way as part of their yard. And so when roads are widened, it has an impact on the neighbors. There'd be 3 utility poles that have to be relocated, some driveway adjustments and some mailbox relocations. But if the town feels strongly about it, it's not a problem.
So I want to address the comment you made about the low traffic on North River Road. I'm gonna look to the guys behind you in blue and ask you, is that a low traffic road?
Depends on the time of day, honestly.
Yep.
There is a lot of truck traffic, surprisingly, truck traffic goes through there from the RV companies and the dump trucks that go to the Niblock or wherever they're going.
Yeah.
So it's not constant busy, but it does get busy at times, both directions. That stop sign backs up there on North Division in the mornings and, for people going to work.
So I actually have traffic counts for you guys.
And I do as well.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay.
it's been a while, the MACOG counts, and this is between Swan and it's 4,800 cars a day. That was back in 22. That was the last time. The county did between 19 and 21. And so you see somewhere between, 21 and over to Division, we pick up some vehicles, in that area. And that's logical because of all the homes right in here and some of the industry that's here. And you're going to pick up vehicles heading this direction. And total trucks back in 22 is 18 in this section between Swan and here.
18 during what time period?
It probably goes to that depth and I didn't go that deep.
Okay.
Sometime during that day is what I think that data showing, is that right?
In a half
Well,
hour.
it's not 18%. It's not, it's either 18 vehicles, is that in the peak hour, is it all day? I would guess it's peak hour.
Peak.
The one thing with the Amazon plant open now, that we're seeing more traffic, and actually I'm seeing semis
Yeah.
going through there.
See a lot of Amazon semis.
So
Yeah, there's,
I think, I think it's gonna be higher than what the last study showed because they just opened it.
Yeah, so since it's in the city now, the county's not doing the counts anymore there.
Yeah.
So we have to rely on MACOG.
yeah, because I just don't see that as a low traffic area. And
So we did add a passing lane on the south side. That's the shaded area.
this area right here.
All those circles are things that are in the way that would have to be moved.
I'm not,
Had a couple, just a couple minor comments. We noticed that the passing width was added. So, looks like, the engineer's anticipating a left turn lane going into the site, which is needed in our opinion. The only thing that we would wanna probably be helpful would be for, the council to see the striping plan. Because what you're not seeing there is the laneage that is being proposed. So maybe just a quick graphic that shows the striping plan will be real clear for the council. And then, we were, a little bit concerned about site distance, so we would ask that you just do that site distance calculation. It's flat. It's not a matter of grade, it's more a matter of curve. My guess is it's gonna show that there's no.
So I have some site distance evaluations on the
Oh.
plan.
Oh, good.
30 mph speed limit, intersection site distance required 335 feet. There's 500 feet to the east and 450 to the west, so there's
Should be good.
plenty of site distance. This is the county's passing lane standard.
Yeah.
And so, the way it works is that if there's nobody turning left, the traffic stays in the through lane, just like they are now. If someone's in the left lane to turn left, then they have the option to go around.
Okay, so Is this the existing road right here?
Yes,
Okay, so if this is the existing road from here to here,
yes,
from here to this gray line, is that your passing blister?
yeah, where the gray pavement is, so you can see that the edge of the road,
About 14.
if you wanna zoom in, or the second sheet in the PDF, Mike, is.
Oh,
close
that's
up on the
right.
drive.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. So you can see, the shaded area would be the additional pavement. The thick black line represents the current striping along the
So-
right-hand side of that lane.
Yeah.
So this is the current road?
That is the stripe at the right-hand side of the current road. The unshaded area is the current road pavement.
So
Okay,
you,
so this is the current road right here.
Yes, and
Yeah.
the shaded area with gray below your pen is the additional pavement for the passing lane, to create that additional 10-foot lane to pass.
so there's a paved shoulder there of some dimension.
Of various,
Yeah,
varying.
Okay.
so you're adding to that.
So how wide is the actual, I don't see any dimensions on the blister itself.
10
It
feet.
would be 10 feet
Right at the edge of the road, but for
beyond the, right,
the
and
existing
then the right
edge.
edge line.
Yeah, so this is your painted line on the road,
Okay,
your
I see, they're
edge.
going to the side.
So you've got 10 feet to
Okay,
That's-
go around.
so it does, okay. That other picture didn't really, that other drawing didn't give
This
us a
is a
good,
close-up of that.
yeah, okay,
It shows all the items that would be relocated.
okay. So relocate this one,
And there's
mailboxes,
And,
another light pole there. Okay,
and adjust the driveways.
okay.
We have some written comments coming,
With that,
written comments coming that we'll get to.
On
we
the,
have none,
We do,
you do.
on the road,
Oh,
we do.
okay.
for the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Other questions?
Mine have been answered.
So I think to Alex's point, we'd like some of these commitments in writing that we've discussed. I'm going to start with the trees. I think we'd like to see, would everybody agree, see more trees than less trees?
Yes.
Yeah.
To give
Yeah.
as much privacy between the new development and the existing neighbors. So we'd like to see that. We'd like to see the existing house updated to a more similar design to the new properties going in. I think we'd like to see the existing house in the HOA as well, so that it's held to the same standards as the new development. And then I think, and I don't want this to be a sticking point for you, sir, but I think we need to have something about no rentals allowed in the HOA. I think do we all feel pretty firm on that one,
Yes.
Yes.
Greg?
Hit or miss.
Okay.
Property rights, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like rentals. I personally despise them, but at the same time, short-term rentals, month-to-month rentals, I think is an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a 6 month, something like that,
Yeah.
Right.
I,
a long-term contract,
yeah,
I feel better about.
yeah, if it's a long-term contract that someone wants to rent out, I would say if we were to agree on a compromise.
Yeah.
Is that something that we could look at?
No short term, just long term.
Yeah,
Like a year or
I'll
more.
agree with that.
what's that?
I'll agree to that.
Okay. Yeah, so like a minimum 6 month.
Yeah.
Rental term. Okay. All right. Any other questions, concerns? Okay, if not, we appreciate your willingness to work with us. We're excited about this project. It's something that Bristol's been in need of residential for quite a while. And I think it's a good opportunity. So we will conduct our meeting on Thursday. As you could expect, we will have a public comment section. So be prepared to answer any questions that may come up. We would like you to present some of this information during that rezoning request when it comes before us. I'm not sure if you can have, is the architectural rendering, was that current or does that need to be updated a little bit?
Well, it needs to be updated, obviously,
With the parking.
Driveways and stuff,
I'm
yeah.
not sure I can get it done by then, but if I can, I will.
Okay, yeah, if you can, I think that would be
Right.
I
helpful.
understand.
Yeah, that would be a big help for the public to see what we're talking about with regard to the parking concerns that were talked about.
And then if you could also show the floor plan, I don't remember in the packet that if there was a floor plan, I think that would help alleviate some of the concerns about it being an apartment. If they can see an actual floor plan, might kind of help.
If you send that to me, I'll include it with the meeting packet. I'll include the current rendering in the meeting packet as well. And if you have an updated one, we can update it last minute if necessary.
Okay, can I get those to you in the morning?
Oh, yeah. You can get it to me Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Should I leave the prints? Do you think that would-
You guys want?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thank
We'll
you.
leave them with Mike.
Yeah,
And then I'll bring some more on.
okay.
Thank you all for your time.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
There's no other questions on the meeting, and our marshal has a request.
Okay. Steve, what do you have for us tonight?
I think you have a copy of those sales for the rifles. And we'd like the full rifles we'd like to purchase. To start with, I want to thank Greg, Councilman Kowalski. He's been really helping with this. Spent quite a bit of time doing some research and actually going down and shooting some, showing some weapons. So I
So tough.
appreciate that. So
I'm scared.
this is kind of what we landed on. That I have two different quotes. One's, the difference is one's, with a upgraded optic, with red dot sight, and the other one's more of a basic one.
Okay.
Greg had given me some input on that. I haven't had a chance to talk to him after, but, these are the two I would like you to consider.
So what's the difference between the two?
One's a little, like I said, one's a little more basic, and talking to the sales rep, the more expensive one, he said, he would say it's a little more ruggedized. It's got a few other
The second one
features
here.
This.
on it. The actual dot is a little bit different in there.
Yeah.
So, battery life, and everything's similar, but, we have the money budget already for whatever, either one. I guess my opinion was I'd rather go with the updated or upgraded one, but if either one would work okay.
So in your experience, which one is better?
So, I mean, the biggest difference is the more expensive one is completely, it's a military grade one, whereas the other one's more like civilian. And then, so this one has one, like if you turn it on, this one is a circle with a dot. The other one has like 4 different options. So there's a whole bunch of different buttons to play with. Biggest thing is it's set up for night vision.
No. Okay.
So
Oh,
it's,
this one?
yeah, I mean, that's like the biggest reason for the price is it's one of the better night vision in that segment of the market.
And I don't foresee us using a night vision, but I noticed even the basic ones have a selection for night vision, so it's hard to find a decent red dot, at least through SIG, it doesn't have that option. This one just has a separate button.
Yeah.
Get the night vision instead of cycling through.
So they all have night vision. It's just the 4T is actually optimized for night vision.
Okay.
So like there's a bit like night vision capable and night vision good are two different, it's two different categories.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, the biggest thing is being rugged.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in a case in the car until we get the mounts figured out. We've got some mounts, but I don't think that we've never used that are in the cars. Some of the cars now, I don't think they're the correct ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this part of this year's budget or next year's budget?
This year's budget.
This year's budget,
Yep.
so they need to get ordered
Yep.
this year.
That's what we'll talk about tonight. I'd like to get them ordered tomorrow if you guys could decide to approve it.
And I know you wouldn't have suggested this gun if it were an issue, but I know I've heard issues of the SIGs with the handguns, with PDs, or I'm assuming this is it is a completely different gun.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not the same issues as what the SIGs were seeing with handguns.
So when we first started talking about, I actually bought the upgraded version of this for myself
Okay,
to shoot before we even got into this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not an issue with this rifle. It's a good rifle. It's solid compared to what most of the departments in the area are going with.
okay,
I'm glad to see this and not what they went with.
okay.
So, I mean, yeah, the pricing is pretty solid.
Okay.
What happens to all your old ones, Steve?
The old ones, my understanding, they're military ones. There was a program through the military called DRMO where they lend surplus rifles to the departments. That's where they came from. Now, it's that question whether, like, nobody's asked us for inventory. Like when I was at Goshen, we had to give the serial numbers at least once a year to show that we still had them, because we're not supposed to get rid of them. That has not happened for probably 15 years, so I'm in the process of trying to show the military whether we need to give these rifles back or what's going on with them.
You need a motion
We
on
have,
this?
I think we have
Yeah.
6 or 6 of the military rifles.
That's all we have, or just 6?
Yeah, and
Okay.
there's no optics, there's no lights or anything, they're just a basic.
Yeah.
Vietnam era military rifle, 16-inch barrel.
Actually, yeah, I mean, are those 22-inch barrels on those
Maybe they are
M16s?
longer.
These are 16s. I think those are 22s or
Yeah.
24s.
Okay,
So,
All
One
of this
thing-
is going.
We had talked about different barrel lengths for, and we were actually looking at short barrel rifles with a suppressor on before, and with my experience with rifles and stuff over the years, I think the 16-inch is a pretty good platform. We don't have to mess with licensing or resale. I mean, civilians can own the 16-inch. They're good all around tool that we could use.
Yeah.
So getting too fancy and too many accessories.
I make a motion that we go with the $19,041.
okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Kathy, second by Doug. Open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes.
Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Dolsky.
yes.
And Jack Beach is yes. Motion carries.
Just a side note for council, Steve has this in his budget and it will be invoiced, but on the off chance that it doesn't get paid for before the end of the year, we'll go ahead and do an encumbrance on Thursday.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you, council.
thank you.
Merry Christmas.
And Greg, thank you for your extra effort on this one.
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And I got shot by a reindeer. No.
Okay, anything else? Council? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion by Greg,
Second.
second by Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.